2, 1. Alrighty, welcome back. Gonna check the audios. Make sure everything's going over good. It's first time doing it without the mic and the camera. So, YouTube's all good on the audio. And all good over on the Facebook side of things too. So welcome back. This is the first out-of-state episode of 100 Proof Whitetails.
Yeah, might look a little weird to everybody else if the sun's still out.
Yeah, I know. We're what is it? 4:50.
4:50, yeah.
Our time. We got inside. We were watching TV after relaxing after being up on the mountain today, and we Derrick's like, "You want to do your podcast before it gets like too late back home?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I forgot we're 3 hours behind out here." So
Yeah, so took Ben out last couple days, few days, kind of hitting some spots. And man, Ben, I don't know what your thoughts are so far.
he says a little slow.
It's a little slow. Yeah, absolutely. I was tried warning Ben that the panhandle of Idaho, anywhere actually in the Pacific Northwest, it's not always what you see for Western elk hunting. You know,
Right.
it's steep, it's thicker than crap.
Yep.
And yeah, it's like if you were to take kind of back east whitetail hunting times it by, I don't know, 100,000.
Yeah, no, I mean we were well over 1,000 on elevation gain today, and that's up and back.
Yeah.
So we've been trying a couple different mountains around here and trying to find these elk where they're at, but we haven't even been seeing any from the road when we've been out scouting either.
No, it's been painfully slow, and yeah, I tell you, a little bit disappointed. Not even on my buddy's property with that 80 acres, which is just elk compiling in there at night. And yeah, on his game cam, he's got nothing new since, what do you say, like May?
Yeah.
And whatnot.
Other than the whitetails down in there a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Jumping some whitetails, some does here and there.
Yep.
Nothing really to get too excited about.
We found some sign, here and there, a couple spots, but nothing super fresh. Did find a couple, well, you thought it was a satellite bull.
Yeah, we found one spot today that was the most promising so far. I was explaining to Ben, kind of when you're pushing through these draws, like I should say drainages from the top down, you tend to get these kind of, young satellite bulls that are just, outside the herd trying to pick off cows here and there. And what they'll do is they'll kind of get into a nasty hole and they'll just tear the piss out of it.
Right.
Stomp the ground, raking trees, acting like they're big and tough, and they're trying to, pull usually a couple cows out and, get it while they can.
Yeah, when they come through with the herd, yeah.
So yeah, we came across a spot today that I smelled something as we were going up, and if people aren't familiar with what elk smell like, what I say, I mean, man, they smell 100% like if you ever been at a sheep farm.
Dirty sheep.
Yeah, they smell hot, and it smells like dirty sheep. And as we're kind of hiking through, I turn around to Ben, and I go, I can smell something. The wind was hitting us in the face, so we were kind of playing it right. And sure enough, we pushed probably, oh gosh, I don't know, another 600 feet up, 600 feet up, and then we kind of started pushing into that draw.
Yep.
And started getting more fresher sign. Some kind of chewed up area and, a bed and whatnot, but nothing was really raked up, or I don't know. My guess is he just kind of visits that spot and he kind of just moves. Is that a bat?
Might be.
Kind of just moves around,
yeah.
Kind of going, hopping as he gets pushed around and whatnot, maybe chasing a little bit of cows. But man, we didn't hear any cows. We haven't heard any bugles, right. Which is, as I explained to Ben, it's been pretty normal up here, unfortunately, with our explosion in wolf population.
Yep.
As the wolves really start taking off, I mean, they have been for quite some time, these elk just stop making noise, man.
Yeah.
When they're bugling and whatnot, it's just you're ringing the dinner bell.
Yeah. Gotcha.
stuff, and
Yeah, pinpointing yourself out on the mountain and.
yeah. So it's been tough, but we're not giving up. We're gonna go try another spot tomorrow. Kind of get up real high.
Mhm.
We'll be sitting around like 6,800 feet, and then we'll be kind of hunting the border of Montana.
Yep.
And we'll drop down and kind of see if we can push through some nasty stuff and at least get some kind of movement, some kind of noise, get eyes on something.
Right.
Something
Right.
down.
We did. Well, you glassed them across the
Yeah.
valley this morning. You saw a couple. I think it was a cow and a calf, probably.
Yeah, over on Middle Mountain. Yeah, they were kind of just coming through one little thick pocket out through the middle. And they were probably just woke up, something bumped them or whatever, and they just moved over. And there
Yep.
might have been a few other elk over there, but when you're looking at it from one mountain across to the other, your brain goes, "Oh man, I got to get over there."
Mhm.
It'd be dark by the time you got over there.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
dropping down
Mhm.
1,400 feet and going
Right.
back up a couple thousand.
Right. Right. And we're kind of going to be more that way with stuff tomorrow.
Yeah. So tomorrow we're gonna be over kind of near the border of Montana because I live just a stone's throw away, less than a mile,
Right.
and whatnot. But
Right. Nate comments in, says that tree behind you guys is so straight and perfectly in center. It looks like you guys are on split screen right now. And the gap there with the river.
with the white fur back there.
Yeah, like a white fur. The Idaho split screen.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably hard to see, but I do have the Clark Fork River behind my house, which is pretty fortunate.
Mhm.
Good fishing out there when they're not jacking the flows up because there's a dam just upriver here.
Yeah, you were saying in half hour it can go up 6-8 foot up or down.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
Mhm.
Unexperienced boaters find themselves kind of dry dock in some areas, I will say. So I mean, I catch myself just out there not paying attention, looking down or whatever, and all of a sudden they kick up from 4,000 CFS to 30,000 CFS, and you're like, oh shit, why am I spinning in circles? Hearing toilet bowls starting out in the middle of the water.
Yeah, just flowing so much water and volume.
Yeah, so that's the other thing we've been doing. Been doing some hunting, and we've also been doing some fishing. Ben's been fishing in Montana and in Idaho. Not the best luck fishing either.
Got a squeeze squaw though.
He did get a northern pike minnow, aka the squaw daddy.
Yep.
Pretty good one, probably 3-4 pounds.
Yeah. Old warrior, man. He had eagle scars or osprey scars
and
or
missing
something.
an eyeball.
Missing an eyeball, big chunk out of his back, but healed
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were in Montana yesterday. I caught a walleye and some bass, and we won't go into Ben's story.
Oh, you can dive right into the stories. I think it's hilarious.
Maybe we should crack this something Ben bought first, because this is quite the story.
Oh yeah. So we went into a local liquor store, and if anybody doesn't know, Idaho is not like New York back home. They're all state-run, state-controlled. So the state buys all the whiskey, vodka, everything for the state, and the prices are set. There's no gouging. There's no jacked up prices, which can be tough to find some harder to find stuff, but at the same time, found some stuff that you don't see too often in New York and right at MSRP.
All right, so what you picked up a bottle of what was that?
Let's see. I got an Old Elk Armagnac cask, which is finished in an Armagnac like brandy barrel. Then I got a Knob Creek state pick that the Idaho Liquor Authority picked that barrel, so that's kind of cool. Bring that back home, and then
you got some B Trace,
little Buffalo Trace at
$25 price.
Yeah, what it should be. Again, a good bottle of $25, and I would buy it back home if it was 25. But I was saying that 40, 45 is a good buy nowadays back home, which is crazy.
That is pretty crazy. Yeah, you got something else pretty nice too. I thought you got 5 of them you're coming home with.
Well, this one,
that would
we
be
got
6.
the piggyback.
No,
piggyback was the 5. The 6th one was that old Ezra 7-year cast strength. Again, I missed out on that one. I passed that up, and then my other buddy Joe picked that up. Arbogast picked it up like the next day.
Gotcha.
When I sent him a picture of what was in the case at K&M, but
you want to
tap into the old Whistle Pig. So I've never had Whistle Pig.
I don't know.
They've always been a rye. This is their 6-year bourbon. So I was definitely interested in checking this out. Fight on the set for the cork pop. week. Oh well. But anyway. So yeah, a couple other comments. Clayton comments in bow or rifle hunting. Right now we're bow.
Right now we are bow. I will not be rifle hunting until October,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which, to be completely honest, so I I do a fair amount of elk hunting up here, but I never get too excited about the archery elk hunting.
Yeah, it's not like you said. It's not that typical.
Well, it's tough, man. There's not a lot of places to glass.
Mm-hmm.
You can find some old burn areas. You can do some glassing in, but I mean, you got to work for it. You got to be willing to go up 2,000 feet. And,
Yeah, put on 8-10 miles or whatever
yeah,
we've been putting on the last couple days.
and even then, and when you're not seeing stuff, it's just like, why do I want to get up tomorrow at 4 in the morning and do this?
Yeah.
But so yeah, so we are archery hunting right now.
Mm-hmm.
I typically, if I'm going to really get after it archery hunting, I am hunting southeast Idaho.
Gotcha.
I am hunting down on the border of Wyoming,
Mm-hmm.
out in the high desert, and that is your iconic elk hunting you see on TV.
Yeah.
Where I'm getting up on a glassing knob, and I can just sit down, and I can pull out the spotting scope, or pull out the binos, and just glass, and
Mhm.
not make a plan until I see something.
Right.
Play the wind,
Mm-hmm.
put them to bed, afternoons or late mornings when they're going to be, napping. Just, make a plan. Figure out, okay, is the wind going to be coming down the mountain in the afternoon? Whatnot? Is it swirling?
Yeah.
Here and there and stuff. So I get really excited about archery elk hunting and, southern Idaho, even central Idaho. Salmon Idaho is fantastic. But up here, I tend to do a lot better later season rifle. And the guys that really get after it, they do the late December archery as well.
Mm-hmm.
When the snow, is coming in buckets and it's pushing
Right.
everything down into
Yeah,
the
it's
valleys.
pushing stuff down in. It's concentrating the elk a lot more in his
Mhm.
pockets. So
Well, you're cutting tracks at that time because the bulls aren't around the cows,
Yeah.
right? They're all either by themselves or whatnot. So you're cutting a bull track and it's fresh,
Mhm.
and then you're kind of getting a good idea where to go.
Yeah, based on where the track's at.
Unlike walking through
Mhm.
6-foot elders and getting wet and
Yeah.
So anyways, I want to try this.
Yeah. So, cheers. I can handle that.
Yeah.
Another solid one. So we had a Jefferson's this week that we've been weaning on. Actually, it's gone now.
Yeah, we put a hurting on that.
Put a hurting on that. That was the first time I had of Jefferson's, and that was really good.
It was weird when it got cold.
Yeah. You put it on ice, or we had it in the cooler the one day when we were out on the boat fishing. We had a flask out there of it, and it was like vanilla.
Strong vanilla.
Like a strong vanilla kind of aftertaste with it.
Yeah, and then, drinking it neat room temperature, you weren't getting none of that.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit, but not like
you were.
It was almost like it was
on a vanilla
not.
bean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it was good. It was definitely an enjoyable one. And again, it was at the gas station for like $30.
Yeah, you can't beat the price. I think it was on sale too. It was like $5 off.
Yeah. Well, the state says, hey, lower your prices this week.
And then
we got more stuff coming in.
Ben actually went through because Idaho publishes their prices.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, they're only making 50 cents on some bottles.
Yeah, it's crazy. So they show what the stores and stuff buy it for,
mm-hmm.
and then what the stores sell it for. And some of the bottles, they were only making like 40, 50 cents on a bottle, which is crazy.
That is wild.
But again, I mean, props to Idaho in that respect for, getting the people the bourbon or whatever they're drinking at the price that it should be.
And my Miller Lite is usually pretty cheap.
Yeah, that too. That too. So it's really cool here because it's state run. There's gas stations that have licenses, so you can get stuff right down to your local gas station, stuff like that too.
And grocery stores got it.
Yep, grocery stores got it. Some of them do, but with the stuff we got, we were like 2 hours away. It was like the first liquor store.
That you picked up those bottles? Oh, I was right in Standpoint. I was like 45 minutes.
Oh, 45 minutes. Yeah, we were 2.5 hours before that. Gotcha. But yeah.
But speaking, we should probably get back to that fishing story, huh?
Got a couple questions.
Oh yeah, sure.
Actually, this is real time. Comment from Andy Hall says, anywhere near Clark Fork? I had a real close call up on Beaver Mountain.
We are in Clark Fork.
Yeah, we're in Clark Fork. So
Yeah, I actually live in Clark Fork. I happen to live at the Cabinet Gorge Fish Hatchery. That's right here on the border of Montana. And I'm very familiar with beaver.
yeah,
That's funny.
we haven't been up on Beaver this week.
No, we
No,
haven't.
no.
Nope. Dogs are.
Sounds
Kaylee,
like your wife's
the
home.
wife is home. Have birds over here chewing on some suet.
Yeah, we got
Those
chickadees.
are mountain chickadees.
Mountain chickadees.
They got the brown on them.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. Steve Bogart comments in, says neither have had it. Wanted to try. Let's see. So I was starting to talk about the piggyback. I like it, man.
This is
I think it's
tasty.
solid. It's
Yeah.
solid, and
I'll have to try it again. Very smooth, like right off the get.
Mhm.
And then it does have a little bit of a linger.
Mhm.
I can taste it like in the back of my tongue.
Mhm.
But
I get almost like a little bit of a fruit taste with it, like a sweeter kind of fruit, maybe.
it's because you're sweet.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I would definitely get that again.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit pricey. It was like $60. Maybe?
I think the
40?
piggyback was 45.
45?
Yeah.
I drink Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so back to these fishing stories.
It's kind of a wild. So Ben yesterday had a very tough time out fishing. So
I got skunked.
He did get skunked.
My pole didn't get skunked.
He definitely, if he was in the business of losing crankbaits, business is good.
Yeah,
So-
I owe you half a tackle box at this point.
So we're pretty much just trolling around, trolling crankbaits, trying to find walleye. I'm looking at, the electronics, stopping at some spots where I'm thinking of seeing some stuff stacked up, throwing out some jig and wraps, throwing out some just other glide baits. Normally have pretty dang good luck doing that. But this trip, actually, I was telling Ben before, been about 2.5 weeks. It got really slow, which is odd. I know our days are getting short. We lose like dang near up to 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
3 to 5 minutes.
Plus the mountain.
Yeah. So so we're out trolling around. First couple hours, I got a little smallie to the boat and popped off, but besides that, it was like nothing. And we were kind of ripping,
Bouncing around some spots.
going a few miles, trying some different spots, coming back. And I was like, heck, let's go ahead by the boat launch. There's this spot that I usually pick up at least a few walleyes at, and sure enough, I think the first fish was a walleye. Yeah, picked up a nice, probably 17, 18-inch walleye.
Yep.
Flopped in the boat. So kind of kept on chugging along. We're all pulling the same stuff and pick up a couple smallies, pick up a couple perch.
Ben's not catching nothing.
Look over there,
Losing.
going, what the heck? We kind of wrap back around, and Ben gets snagged for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 9th time.
Which you got a few of them off.
Yeah, so I got to the point of just, give me a damn pole. I'm gonna pop this off. And Ben gets snagged, so I pop it off and I reel it into the boat, and sure as shit, I reel in a smallie on his rod. And so we're having a good laugh, and we're just like, no way, man. I'm like, come on, because we've been fishing for like 4 hours at this point. And so here we go at it again. We're hitting the same line, kind of going back and forth,
Put a worm harness on.
Yeah.
Because you're tired of me losing your $8 crankbaits.
And sure enough, I'm picking up a couple more fish here and there and whatnot. And
I'm not.
We're getting to the point, and I'm just like, all right, man, let's just head home. We're going to go out and hunt early in the morning.
Yeah, last pass back.
Yeah.
I get snagged again with a worm harness, which is...
Yeah, you got to be dragging bottom pretty hard. So Ben gets snagged on a log, and we're no farther than 150 yards from the boat launch. And I said, dude, all right, give me your rod. I'll pop it off.
We're done. You start putting
done.
the sleeves on.
I start putting the sleeves on the rod. I'm like, give me your rod. We're done. I pop them off, reel them in the boat. There's a smallie on.
I've been towing fish around all afternoon, must be.
No, you definitely weren't, because you were reeling in, boy.
But you can't make it up once and twice. You definitely, it was, and we had a laugh, dude. We're keeled over, laughing, having a good time.
Oh, boy.
Oh my gosh.
It was too funny. Yeah. But, so fishing's been slow. We'll probably try to get out. Well, we're going to go hunting tomorrow morning. Probably get done again maybe around noon or 1. I'd
Mhm.
like to then hit the river for a few hours before it gets dark, because you still got your Idaho license. You
Mhm.
might as well make use of that.
Yeah, Montana's done.
Yeah, your Montana license is done.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll probably hit that for a few hours, kind of see how that goes. Hopefully, can catch him dinner.
Mhm.
Start picking up a few more. Well, I got a couple spots I want to try as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know, Ben. So far, you've been having fun.
Oh yeah, dude, it's a blast. And like I said, this is the first time I've been west of the Mississippi. Well, pretty much west of Kentucky, western Kentucky. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, dude, it's all new to me. I mean, like I said, you drive around out here. I've been putting posts up on Facebook with it and stuff. The pictures are what it looks like, and I don't think they do them justice
Mm-hmm.
either. But um, definitely been putting the miles on up on the mountain. We've been trying to find them, but
It's been
just
tough.
it's been real
Everything's
tough.
tight-lipped right now. Nothing's making noise.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and I mean we've seen some local deer out in the fields and stuff at night, but
yeah, yeah. I think everything is up really high right now.
yeah,
And
once we got 32 is where we started getting into elk sign.
yeah, 32, 36,
Yeah,
100 feet. Yeah.
yeah.
Started getting in some elk, but yeah, everything's up really high, I think.
Hmm.
And yeah, gosh, man, I'd like to hear. I mean, right now, I mean, they're fired up. They're breeding.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you'd be thinking they're screaming, but I mean, watching a couple other videos of guys I know, and they're not hearing nothing either.
Well, we went down to your local the Arrow Works, right?
Yeah, the archery shop down there,
Yep.
and he said the guy came in with a bull today in the back of his truck. Of course, it's from Montana
Hmm.
because that's where all the elk live.
Yep.
Is right across the border, about a half a mile,
Hmm.
and they just
Yeah, it's
sit
spitting
over there
distance.
and laugh at us,
Hmm.
chuckle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
But no, yeah, and he was saying that even a couple of the local guys have got him, but he was saying that everybody he's talked to pretty much is saying no, none's talking. They
yeah,
can't really find him too good. Um,
and I mean, it really does have to do with the wolves out here.
and that's exactly what he said too.
I mean, yeah, they're don't let any New Jersey cat lady tell you different. I mean, they put a hurting on them
Right,
and stuff. I mean,
right.
I work for the department. I get to see the stuff that we track and
Hmm.
whatnot, and you'd be surprised.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, and they've done studies of that even like on the turkey level, because like what I've always been told by people that come out west and elk hunt and stuff is like they're like deer that communicate like turkeys. They're more vocal of an
Sure.
animal. So, and they've done studies on turkeys specifically where hunter density and hunter numbers increasing and or predation has caused less gobbling in the spring.
Makes
So, I
sense.
mean, it could be, like you said, it's like ringing the dinner bell. It's like, hey, I'm over here,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not just a bull bugling. Like you usually say, these guys harem of cows with them and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. And
you
then
know,
once you start breaking up those herds and whatnot, and you got calves running off, and the amount of times that I've been through the woods, like archery hunting especially, and just ran into just a lone calf
hmm.
all by herself,
Hmm.
not making any noise, but nothing around. I'm like, that's probably gonna be food.
Oh yeah, get split off from the group like that or
You know what I
something.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
With no tracks. I mean, who knows if she got busted out, or
right,
he at that size,
right.
by himself, and there's no moms around, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of bust through, and you're like, oh, that's a pretty small looking doe.
Hmm.
Oh shit, that's a cow elk. Kind of just looking at you, and almost like,
Yeah. Well, again,
save
they're
me,
just babies.
save me.
Yeah. Mom?
Yeah, and they don't even run off. They don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
They just kind of look at you, and you just keep on walking. Good luck, buddy.
Right.
Kind of give them
Yeah.
the salute, and
Good luck.
good luck out
Good
there.
luck. And you were saying too that it's bulls only now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Unit 4, they took away the cow hunt.
Hmm.
Yeah, because like 4 years ago, they used to have a draw for a cow only tag, and there was only 50 of them.
Hmm.
They didn't even sell out
For the whole unit.
for 4A. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even sell out of that tag the first year. Second year, they ended up selling out of that tag, and people were very successful because you see a lot of cows
Hmm.
normally.
Right.
And the following year, they're like, nah, we're done.
Yeah.
We're not doing the cows anymore, which is a bummer.
So does that change once it gets into like rifle and stuff, or no? Is that just bulls only? bull only
bull
units.
only
Gotcha.
and stuff.
Gotcha.
And I got a feeling they're going to put a antler restriction size on it eventually.
Mhm.
Some units do. It has to be a branched antler bull
Mhm.
and whatnot. And out here, technically, if you shoot a bull that has under 6-inch antlers, it's a cow
Gotcha.
and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, the problem with not allowing people to harvest cows and only bulls is that anything with antlers dies.
Right.
It's the, if it has antlers, it's dead.
Yeah.
That nobody lets anything pass here
Mhm.
and stuff. Which, you stop hearing bugling. Yes, there's wolves. Yes, there's hunters and stuff. But then you stop seeing as many bulls, and you start seeing fields with 50 cows in them.
Yeah.
Where's the bull? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's the management, man. It's
It's the ever continuing balancing act.
I work on a fishery side.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot easier. You just make more.
Yeah. I just make more fish. It's a lot easier to make more fish.
Make more non-natives.
Yeah. Exactly.
But Andy dropped another comment, says, say hi to Dennis Clark.
I think I know who that is.
Gotcha.
Dennis Clark.
Gotcha.
I'll have to give that some thought.
Yeah.
Oh. I think I know who that is.
Yeah. So that's who said that he was up on Beaver Mountain when he had that encounter.
No kidding.
So
Was he on the beaver part over in Montana, though?
I don't know. He said anywhere near Clark Fork had a close call up on Beaver Mountain.
Because how you get to Beaver is from Heron, Montana. You take the Forest Service road up, and it kind of makes a Y, well, a split, and you go right, and you can go up Beaver that way. But half of that mountain's in Idaho.
So it's like,
yeah, so you can, like, I've gone up there and hunt, and you're through Montana the whole way. You can drive literally to the top of it. But the backside of it, that someone has a bear bait up at, the backside of that's
gotcha.
So you could shoot something and then drag it into Montana and take it home.
Right.
Yeah, it might be a little.
Yeah. Well, it's where you make the shot, I believe, not where you recover the animal.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not like we're gonna sit on the fence line and go, "Hey, Montana."
I wish they were sitting on a fence line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be even nice to see them. We might have heard one bugle
A couple days ago,
and we bumped that doe off in there, and it was just like we were being quiet because we had just bumped this doe. But that could have been another hunter because that was Saturday.
Yeah, but it was just that one, man, middle of the day, which leads me to believe it probably was a bull. Like I was telling you, sometimes they kind of, what I like to do is like a shock bugle, right? Middle of the day, even when it's hot, just rip one out, see what happens. Sometimes, if you're close or close enough where they can hear it, they'll jump right out of bed and they'll just usually bark one back and stuff. And then they're done.
Yep.
They're not going to challenge you for the most part and whatnot, but they're going, hey,
get a locator on
I'm
them.
here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And stuff, because these elk get pretty good and they end up getting smart because once they have their harem of cows, man, they're not trying to fight.
Yeah.
You start bugling at them and start challenging them too hard, they'll just take them and
they'll just take them and go over the mountain.
Yeah, I got what I need. You know what I mean? I don't need to fight for something I already have. You know what I mean?
Right, round them up and take them off.
Yeah, which I'm sure you probably see that with whitetails as well. You get a buck, start grunting real hard or whatever, maybe.
Oh yeah, dude. When they have a doe pinned down, they're not making any noise.
Exactly. They're staying quiet. Why fight for something when you already have it?
Yeah, unless there's another buck comes in or something.
Yeah.
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 Obviously. But no, it's been definitely an experience, dude. The views have been great. I mean, if anybody loves the Adirondacks, it's like that times 10.
Yeah.
I mean, we were up on the top of, well, actually, I say the top. We weren't even to the top of the mountain today. We're still 1,000 feet off.
Yeah, I was up on Antelope, which is pretty damn steep country.
Yep.
Over there, I think
which is funny because antelope are flatlanders.
Yeah, and also stock fish in that lake up there.
Yeah, it'll be in the post tomorrow. The Antelope Mountain Lake got a nice picture up there at the lake, and we were heading up through, kind of coming around the mountain, playing the wind the whole way, so we had to make a big loop so we could keep the wind in our favor as best we could. But
yeah, those thermals, man, on the mountain,
you get on the dark side, dude, and it'll just be tanking or rising. Oddly enough.
You try to play it right where you're thinking, okay, in the morning, I'm going to be able to, get up high and they're not going to smell me. And then by the afternoon, it's going to switch. So you can push down and you'll be in your favor. But
Yeah, some of those
Doesn't always
draws,
work
dude.
that
Some of
way.
those draws and steep, sheer bluff country. A lot of it, I noticed, it kind of wraps around. Once you get to the right elevation, it almost can wrap. If you're working into the wind, it wraps almost right in your face, pretty nice.
It
Until you
does.
get into a draw, and then
Yeah,
it gets a little squirrely.
and the big difference I noticed between hunting southern central Idaho is there's really no trees, right? So there's a lot of sagebrush and a lot of pockets of timber.
Hmm.
Up here where it's just pretty freaking thick.
Yeah.
That those trees just kind of take that wind and do whatever they want to with it. It's just like you try to plan it out right, and you're like, okay, I'm in this clearing. I got the wind in my face. I'm gonna push up. As soon as you get in the timber, you're like, how is the wind coming from behind me now?
Hmm. Right.
It's tricky
Yep.
and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm not losing hope yet. I think
We finally cooled down too. It was like almost 80 when I first got here.
yeah, that was crazy.
Hmm.
And now today's high was
62.
62. It's warmer now though.
Yeah, it feels warmer. Had a little bit of rain roll in and stuff. So, but yeah, Andy said the Idaho side of Beaver Mountain came in from Montana. He said Heron, I think. He said he had silver bulls down below us near the stream on the south side.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I know where he's talking.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for the real, the old story. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's one of the guys that
back in the good old days.
back in the good old days. Yeah, we were talking to the guy at the archery shop, and he's like, yeah, we used to come up to the top of this mountain, and he's like, it was a son of a gun.
Yeah, any kind of finger just kind of pound down it, and you'll run into something. But yeah, you talk to guys that have been doing that for 30 years, and then ask them when's the last time you shot something. They said, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm not losing hope. I think tomorrow we're gonna start really high.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of see how it goes from there. We'll stay quiet unless something talking, and then we'll wait. And if we get pretty elky, maybe let out a couple cow calls.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can at least get something to call back, make some kind of noise, get an idea.
Yeah.
As long as we don't cow call and find out we're standing and surrounded by 50 of them.
Yeah. Which it could be, like you said, it can be like either feast or famine here too.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So
it's just they find these little crappy, just elder pockets of deep dark hellholes, and they just lay in there.
Mm-hmm.
And when the time's right,
it's all browse and food, and
yeah, I mean, and nothing's getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But when the time is right, man, it's just like a light switch. Like,
yeah.
Oh, they're up on the move. Oh, they're making noise. Oh, they're doing something, and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
and like you said, the trickiest part, like I've talked to a couple of the other guys I know that come out west, like the Pertner Outdoor guys and stuff, and Bill shot a nice muley, I believe in Colorado, that I showed you, that one in Velvet.
Yeah.
But way more open country, dude. Like you can glass.
That's all high deserts.
Yeah. So it's a lot different.
Yeah, the reason, because I spent 4 years living in southern Idaho and part central Idaho and whatnot, but the reason I came up here is, like anybody, I mean, when you move away, you do get a tendency to be a little bit of homesick.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in Idaho now for almost 10 years. But once I found out about the Panhandle, I was like, holy smokes, that looks a lot like the Adirondacks.
It does.
That reminds me of home.
Yeah, the high lakes, surrounded with the high ground.
So I was like, well, I like hunting down here, but I like living up here.
Right. Yeah.
So I can always travel to go hunt. Being a resident, the tags cost the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting the time off and driving 8 hours to go hunt.
Yep.
It's tough. And I hunt 99.9% by myself.
Yeah.
So, it takes a lot for me to pack up all my shit and go drive 8, 9, 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then tell my wife, I'll be back in a week and a half.
Yep.
Don't worry about me.
I love you. Yeah. And that's the other thing up here, which I was really surprised, is even up on top of the mountains, there's actually pretty decent cell service in most parts.
Around town, yeah.
Around the towns.
This area,
yeah.
Luckily, 3 years ago, we didn't have anything.
Yeah, that's
there
what you were
wasn't a
saying.
damn lick of service over here.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into Montana, there's nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, some areas, around here, it's pretty surprising. You have decent cell service. Up high, because while you're down low, you ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Right here we do, but.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it's been a blast, dude. I've been enjoying the heck out of it. Just check the YouTube thing, see if we got any comments over there. I haven't been watching that. Nope, all good. All good. Everybody's been on the Facebooks. Want a little more whistle pig?
Yeah.
It was pretty good, dude. I don't think you need any ice for it. 100
No.
proof. Better cork pop that time. Must be a need to get a little wet.
Top you off there,
Yeah.
buddy.
Take the top off. But yeah. So other than that, I guess rest of the plans, I'll be flying out early Saturday.
Early. I got to get you to the Spokane airport.
Yep.
2.5 hours.
Yep. Well, actually, we won't hit traffic probably this time.
No, when we're leaving at 2 in the morning.
No.
Usually tends to be pretty good, but yeah, I'd really like to have you get some eyes on a nice anything. A bull. Yeah. I don't even care if it's some cows. Just
right.
See some elk that aren't in a high fence.
Yeah. See some that aren't over at Savannah Dew over there in New York.
Yeah. Maybe run into a moose or two.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that there's moose, there's elk. I mean they're there, they're in the hills.
Yeah, I will say
Actually we saw a really good buck going to Sandpoint the other day.
Oh yeah.
Down in that little marsh. I was like, and I got up on Onyx, and this is where Onyx is really cool for this. I'm like, oh, and what do you call it? Those little grimy spots getting in.
Little greasy spots?
Greasy spots, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a little greasy spot.
The little slivers that come up into like a bunch of like private ground.
Yeah, with like, a little bit of national forest that reaches down to the road.
Yeah.
You just slither your way into there.
Yeah. I was like, that buck's in there. I was like, he's a pretty good buck.
Yeah.
But now we didn't go back for him.
But I was going to bring this up, and this is the first year. This is the least amount of bear shit I've seen, which is crazy.
You thought we came up on that mountain lion.
Oh, yeah, that little kill spot area.
Yeah, that little kill spot. Couple piles underneath that tree and stuff.
But usually, man, I'm going out and I'm seeing 10, 15, 20 piles of bear shit. We haven't seen more than a handful.
Yeah, the whole trip.
Yeah.
The fresher stuff was over on Brett's.
Yeah,
that was fresh. That was this morning eating somebody's apples in their yard.
Yeah, that was eating. Yeah, that was a black bear up there. But I took you to the spot though. I got that grizzly on the trail camera and stuff, and that's a big grizzly up there.
Yeah.
And then my buddy shot that mountain lion with his bow, sitting right next to where that grizzly picture was taken.
Right on that wallow up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I had 5 different mountain lions on a trail camera up there, which is crazy because they don't hang out together.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's pretty wild, but yeah, it's kind of strange. I haven't seen that much bear shit, but I think tomorrow when we go way up Dry Creek, we'll probably start seeing a lot more bear shit. Yeah. It's just a lot more bears over there.
Yeah, for what it's just they like that mountain or whatever.
Yeah, it's very in the middle of nowhere and stuff, and a couple roads in, couple roads out, and really only accessible by ATVs.
Yeah, and then speaking of like kind of the cool history of this area.
Oh yeah, we went into a mine.
Yeah, we went into a mine. Up on, well, not up on, but on Antelope Mountain.
The Lawrence Mine.
The Lawrence Mine, which was primarily used for silver and lead.
And a little bit of gold.
And a little bit of gold.
No, it was silver.
Silver and lead, and then subbing iron and some gold.
Yeah. It's quite an impressive cave, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive little, and they got like bars on it and stuff like that.
Yeah. We won't go into any more of the story.
Yeah, there's some bars and stuff on it.
One of them might be loose.
Yeah, there might be a loose one in there. It was really cool. They still got the old wires hanging that they used to hang the lantern lines on and everything.
Old train track type.
The old train track is still what's left in there. Yeah, a couple ties.
Boy, how cold is that air coming out of there?
Dude, you want to talk about like a cold cellar.
Being from, in the 70s and then walking in there and it's in the low 40s, upper 30s.
Yeah, like just cold enough where it's not ice in the water that's, sitting on the floor in there.
Yeah, no kidding. But holy daddy long legs.
Oh yeah, the spiders in there. I mean,
if you have a spider problem, which I'm not a fan. Daddy long legs don't bother me, but the other ones do.
When they're wadded up in there 100 deep, in those little pockets
and every little crack you're looking into, and it's just like, oh my god.
But the quartz deposits and the rock were so cool to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a little research on it. They pulled about $80,000 out of that mine between like 1910 to like right before World War II. And they pulled about $80,000 out, which might not sound like a lot, but that's like equivalent to about $1.5 million.
Was it 80 or was it? Yeah, it was.
$80,000. And which nowadays would be equivalent to like one to $1.5 million
Yeah,
one mine.
There was a whole, like I was telling you, I showed you that one kind of, there was a house down there, like kind of, on the mountain, just the roof is, into the ground. But found an old car.
Yeah, the old car.
All the old logging roads that are now just have, full-size trees on them and stuff. But they used to drive those cars all across those mountains on those roads, and they're just, a 1932 Buick.
Yeah, that one I think took the corner a little too fast.
Yeah,
and ended up there at the bottom by the mine.
Yeah, there's two more that it's just like, boy, I don't think they just left this here upside down. I think it ended up that way.
And they couldn't get it off the mountain.
Maybe got out of the mine
parted out a bit.
A little too much moonshine coming out of the mountain.
Yeah, a little bit too much out of the hills. A little bit too much of that clear water.
Yeah, it does. It is cool up here. There is a lot of that history. I mean, the whole Silver Valley, when you go south towards, south of Coeur d'Alene, going towards Mullen and Wallace and, those areas. I mean, they're still mining right now down there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's big Lucky Friday mine. That's one of the big ones down there. And, but yeah, there's it's crazy. It's crazy that area down there had more people in that small town that's now a ghost town than, like, say, all of Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is present day. Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah. And just because of the mining. Just because of the industry that it brought.
Yeah, and the crime, I was telling you earlier, the crime was so bad over in the Silver Valley that they had hired Wyatt Earp to come down there to control it. He got there and said, there's no chance, and left. He said, this place is doomed. And then the fire.
And now it's a ghost town.
And then the fire of 1910 just killed everybody.
Yeah.
Well, it just burnt everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was, I mean, it's a booming economy, but there's problems. There is no fish in those rivers now because they're, they killed everything.
Yeah.
There's a reason I go down there and stock everything in little ponds that, the mining companies pay for and stuff. And it is what it is, man. We, everybody's got to make a dollar at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But yeah, no, just a lot of that. Like I said, the car will be in that post tomorrow, the mine shaft, a couple of the other stuff from today. I've been just trying to keep going. That way I don't go, here's 900 pictures from the trip.
Right.
It's like, 810 here, 810 here.
Well, hopefully the next one has a dead elk in it.
That would be nice. Or a nice buck. I mean,
a nice buck, yeah.
A nice whitetail buck or something.
Yeah,
we almost got a grouse today.
Can't shoot a muley until next month. But yeah, almost shot a grouse today. That was a little odd. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should probably shoot my bow one more time.
Yeah, we should probably check the bow.
Yeah, after coming down that shit we were coming down.
Yeah, it was a little hairy. I mean, it took us 4 hours to get up over 1,000 feet.
We just kind of pinned it.
Came down in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, we kind of just pinned it going down.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I try to tell people, they're like, oh yeah, these are cool mountains. It's like all you really see is trees, and it's like, you don't understand. There's cliffs inside of those areas.
And then they're like, oh look it's open. It's like, that's a rock face.
Yeah.
That's.
Or oh, it's open. Do you know how long it would take to get there?
Yeah.
I hike a lot, and I'm not getting there right now.
Yeah. Well, like you said, we glassed those elk across the valley, and you're just like there's two over there. It's not like you can be like, okay, we're gonna get over there. Like, no. Dude, it would have been half hour down, 3 hours to get up to them or more. Like you said, it'd have been this time of the day we might have got over there, and by then they would have been
gone
off and over the mountain.
I played that game, man. When I first started getting into elk hunting, I thought I could just, oh man, there's one. Chase after it, and you can't keep up with them as they're walking. Like, even you walk as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Their slow walk is faster than you can walk.
Yeah.
Jog, probably.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like you said, 600-pound animal, dude, and some of the stuff that they're on. Like, I don't think people, unless you've elk hunted, understand. Like, we're talking, like, stuff that's, like, this wide, game trails. And that's what they're walking on the side of a mountain like this.
Yeah, or a side hill and something. That's
side hilling and just freaking.
Yeah, and they move through that shit like butter, man. They kind of walk through that like a ghost. It's crazy, man. I mean, and then there's times where you're sitting there and it sounds like the forest is coming down. you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
there's stuff moving.
Yeah. Moving
Yeah.
some animals around there.
Right.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
but no, it's definitely been an experience. Like you said, it's not maybe your traditional
No,
Western.
I was telling you, I said, if you're
Mhm.
gonna get an elk tag, we'll do this and we have to plan. It's not like something we can just wing,
Mhm.
because we'll go archery elk hunt down in Diamond Creek or something like that, or Tex Creek. I got that place dialed in. I've shot bulls down there, and we'll make a plan, and it's going to be, a camping trip for a week.
Mhm.
I'll bring the 4-wheeler down and whatever. It helps a lot for getting around.
Yeah, or getting stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, just ripping up through like the sagebrush, 2 tracks out in the middle of nowhere
Mhm.
and stuff. It's just, you can't get a truck in there, and I'm not walking through that.
Right. Right.
But at least get you to a place. But yeah, like there, that's where, if you're gonna spend $1,000+ on something, like
Mhm.
you want to have your odds be as high as possible.
Right.
And,
Yeah, because I think up here, I think it was only a 23 success rate for non-resident tags
oh, really?
for the Panhandle region.
And I bet you most of them are shot up in Bonners, because you can glass a little bit up there.
Gotcha. But that, like I said, that's the whole Panhandle region I was looking at.
And that's a big region.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's like we're not talking like a management unit that you can drive through 3 of them between like my house and
You're not
Nate's
talking
house.
about like Cattaraugus County.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
talking hours to get to either side of it, and then you probably are still in the same unit.
It takes me 10 hours as a drive to southern Idaho from here.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
not, like, that's on
Highways.
Yeah.
Does 200 go all the way down that way?
What's that?
200
No,
is that
200 cuts
goes to Montana.
East to west,
Gotcha.
or either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes through Montana. But yeah, 90 goes across Coeur d'Alene there into Washington.
Let's take it all the way to Buffalo.
You can also take 20 all the way into like Canandaigua. I'm not even kidding. It drops all the way down.
It's just a short 40-hour drive.
Oh, it's
like
gonna, yeah. If you stayed on the 20, you probably take quite a bit. Yeah, it'll drop all the way down into outside of Sun Valley, and then from there it just starts heading back east, and you can eventually take that all the way into wherever you know of 20.
That's one way to head east.
Yeah. I thought about doing that on a motorcycle.
That would be probably a pretty cool drive, going on the 20 and stuff like that. A little bit more scenic, not as much highway.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. There's guys that ride those adventure bikes,
Mhm.
and they have like websites dedicated to it, and they got their whole like maps all done up where they can drive from here to Utah and like rarely ever have to touch blacktop.
Mhm.
And they're just ripping
Back
through
tracks,
the mountains
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, that was one thing that was kind of crazy here, is as long as it's not gated, you can pretty much ride it if it's,
Yeah.
Forest Service or whatever.
Yeah. Like there's hundreds of miles, 2 miles from my house, but
Yeah.
you can get on Forest Service Road and hundreds of miles, enough to get lost and no one ever see you again.
Yeah, make sure your 4-wheeler's in decent shape, or you
Yeah.
got plenty of gas. Like, this is one of them where you don't want to be going, oh, we're out of gas, boys.
Yeah. And if anybody's ever thinking about coming out here snowmobiling, do not do it by yourself.
Yeah.
If you get stuck 40 miles back up in the mountain, you're probably going to live there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's been painfully slow. That's kind of how it goes, though. You get someone to come out and whatnot, and I mean, I'm sure it'd be slow for me if you weren't here, but it's a little bit extra when you're here.
Yep.
And like I said, up here I don't get too excited until usually rifle. The snow starts piling in, up in the mountains, I should say, and you get a lot of stuff that comes down. It's easier to cut tracks. Start low, get up into the snow, cut some tracks, figure out where they're going. Are they coming or going from feeding, to whatnot? And I mean, they're not talk. I mean, I don't even bring a bugle with me. Like,
yeah, right.
I'll bring a cow call
Mhm.
and whatnot. But yeah, it's just okay. Now I at least know this was today.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus that looks like a good track, and then you look at a turd next to it, and you're like, that's like 2 weeks old.
Yeah. Right. And that's what you're saying here, like in, when you start to get snow and stuff like that, the valley, it'll be rain or clear,
Yeah.
and then you'll work up into rain, and then it'll freeze up, and then it'll turn to snow.
Yeah.
Kind of as you go up the elevation.
Yeah, like I shot that mule deer that I have hanging on the wall in there. I started at the truck. It was dry ground. I started walking up the trail up Morris, and it turned to rain. And then by the time where I turned around, I was in waist deep snow. And
Yeah, just going up
I was like, what am
elevation.
I
That's all
doing?
you're doing, going up elevation.
And turned around, came down, got back into the rainy part, and ended up shooting that mule deer.
Hmm.
And I was chasing those does down the mountain. But yeah, so fun stuff.
Yeah.
You've been having a good time though.
Yeah, buddy.
That's good.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about, man.
I'll be ready to come back out.
Heck yeah, with a plan this time.
Yeah.
We'll have a
Yeah,
plan.
this was like
I was like, hey,
drunk at my birthday, like,
I'll buy you a ticket tomorrow.
and I was like, okay.
Nah,
Then at that time there were still elk tags available and stuff, and we were looking at it, and then you're just like,
I'm like,
I remember,
please don't buy one. Please don't buy one.
I remember we're in the lottery, and you're just like, yeah, I wouldn't buy that. Like, nope, that one's too far away. You know, just
Yeah.
going through it, and you're just like, yeah. And second thought, just don't buy an elk tag at all.
I'm like, don't buy one here.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get one, we'll plan it
Plan
out
it
right.
for Southern Idaho and make it right. But
Yeah.
again, getting out here, getting a feel for it is huge. And I think it's a lot of it's mental too, because as you're going up it, like especially going up, so to get up in the morning, you just got to go because you're trying to beat them back up the mountain,
Yeah.
pretty much. So you just got to put a little bit of mind over matter with it.
My biggest thing that I had to get over was you get to the point of being tired of going up, and you're like, ah, man, I'll just be content and kind of hang out here. You have to just take that mindset and throw it out the window and just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. Because if you think, all right, I'm not seeing nothing, there's not going to be nothing here. I guarantee you, if you go up a few hundred more feet, you're going to start seeing stuff.
Oh yeah, like I
You
said,
just got to push through it.
we were up 1,000 feet from the truck where we started cutting elk sign.
Yeah, I mean,
today.
Yeah,
I mean, just for example.
It'll feel miserable,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, flew all the way out here.
Side hill. I mean, yeah.
Now pack, and then you'll shoot it and go, shit, what I get myself into? I got to pack this thing up.
Make it a little sweeter with a nice bull on the back coming down the mountain.
Yeah, that would have been kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to slide down that today.
Yeah, we got into it. It looked a lot less steep on Onyx and the Topo coming down.
Yeah.
It was.
I think you were zoomed in too close.
Yeah.
You got to zoom way out.
Yeah.
You see those lines just stacked.
Yeah, it was very steep coming down today.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you'd just be coming down, and then there'd be like a small little logging road cut into the side of it, and you're just like you said, this is where they used to like take the car or take the freaking horse.
Yeah.
And it's just like
people
what
live
the heck?
there. People live there back then.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild stuff. Yeah, imagine what kind of elk and stuff they were shooting. Or deer, muleys, whitetails back then.
Just pounding it, man. Feeding camp, feeding town.
Gosh. Yeah.
Guys that made a living on just being up in the mountains hunting.
And those guys knew nothing about getting tired. They were pounding the top every day, probably.
Yeah. Good life is lived to your 30.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, nothing whiskey can't fix.
Yeah. Whiskey in the saloon.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was whorehouses in Idaho back then. I don't know.
I'm sure there was something. I'm sure. Yeah. What did you think about Ponderay? Pretty cool lake?
Ponderay was pretty good. It was a little choppy the day we were out there. Not too bad. You said it's been way worse out there.
Oh, yeah. When I'm taking the trawling boat across to go spawn fish, I've had to turn around last year a couple times because I'm not dying for spawning kokanee.
Right.
You know, out in that lake where it's, 1,200 feet deep and it's, freezing water.
Mm-hmm.
I won't make it to shore. I can only dog paddle so well.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it's enough to be flipping the boat, you're probably not doggy paddling very far at all.
We have Gumby suits on the boat. Never put one on. Don't want to.
Yeah. Oh, like the deadliest catch kind of crab fishing suits. Yeah, pass.
Yeah,
if it's to that point, no.
It's like, do we want to go through a drill on learning how to use these? And like, nope, not going to have to. Because I'm not boating in that shit. Yep. I'm not going to kill the guys I'm with on my boat.
Yeah. No. And then, some of the stories you told me for fishing game and stuff like that, which is cool. Some of the history of this hatchery and then where all the stuff is now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this is the first time in Cabinet Gorge's history that we have all the water turned off and no fish at the hatchery. So this hatchery is sitting on a Vista property. A Vista is a power company, and we get kind of mitigation money for raising certain species because there's a giant dam right over here. But Vista is paying to put new pumps in the river. These are wells. They're not pumping river water. They're just capturing spring water over there. But in doing so, they had to turn off our water for doing that. So there's another hatchery in Sandpoint at the Sandpoint Fish Hatchery, which has not been operational since the 40s or 50s. It was constructed in 1906. And yeah, they shut it down. I think it was the 50s. And so I was tasked with going over there and
making stuff work,
figure out how to turn the water on and run water with gravity-fed water through all these raceways, and then move all the fish from here over there.
Yeah, and looking at that after looking at your place here, it's a lot more primitive of a hatchery setup.
Yeah, it's full of asbestos and lead paint. Yeah, it definitely.
Fish aren't growing any extra eyeballs though, right?
Over there,
actually,
the fish. That's kind of hilarious. The fish are surviving so much better over there than they do here. So like we have the only brood stock of West Slope cutthroat in the state. We supply the state with those, and that's Idaho state fish. West Slope cutthroat are notorious for getting what's called cold water disease. It's not CWD like you would think of, but it is labeled that way. It's a flybobacterium, and there's thousands of strains of it. But it wreaks havoc. Once the fish start getting it, you start seeing, okay, here's 10 dead fish. I mean, they die off when they're little. Once they kind of build it in their body, they build an immunity a little bit, and they don't die. They don't die of cold water. But you see 10 today, and then tomorrow they'd be like, okay, there's 600, and then you go, okay, that's a lot. And then the next day there's 4,000, and then after that there's 20,000. You know what I mean? So
it's just a compounding problem.
Yeah. So it's just the fish is constantly shedding virus into the water, and those fish are. I mean, it is a flow-through system. It's not a recirculating system, but they're next to each other. You know what I mean? So they end up getting sick, and so we'd feed them like terramycin, oxytetralycine, different kinds of. I'm not going to get into that too much. So we lose a lot of little fish because of that. But since we moved them over there, we haven't really lost anything.
Right.
Which is
and they look good.
Which is kind of a blessing and a curse, because now I have to write a paper on it and potentially raise all of our cutthroat fry over there because they're doing so well.
So the Sandpoint hatchery might be reopened now.
Yeah, just for high mountain lake fish. High mountain lake fish and catchable rainbow trout that I stock like 120,000 rainbows out of there.
And that's right by the Long Bridge, right there in Sandpoint.
Yeah, which is another thing that Idaho is switching to next year, because we stock 10 and 12-inch catchables. 10s are gone. We're doing nothing but 12-inch fish from now on. So all the 10-inch fish requests are now 12-inch fish requests. And it's not numbers, it's biomass. So less fish, but bigger fish,
Right.
Neighbors over there working on the house.
You still got neighbors. Even up here in the mountains. Well, it's just everybody tuning in.
Oh, cool.
These are all different, unique people that have tuned in.
Oh, fun.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm trying to not run the mouse so much because I'm not back away from the camera as much as usual. So I pull it up on the phone so I keep an eye on the questions and stuff coming in. But
gotcha.
But yeah, so which I mean makes for like a 40-minute drive for you.
Yeah, which is nice to get away from here.
Yeah, because I mean, it's nice to
grocery shopping.
Yeah, it's nice to roll out of bed, I'm sure, and go to work, but other times it's not so fun.
When you see the same people day in and day out, like we all do at work, but when they're also your neighbor and you have to go to bed knowing that they're living next door to you.
Yeah, because most of you folks live like right.
No, I get along with the guys I work with for the most part. We all voice our opinions here and there and whatnot, but nothing a case of beer or a bottle of whiskey doesn't fix.
Yep. Yeah, and you were saying your one co-worker, you give most of your deadheads and stuff you find to him, and
he's got
the bleach stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, he's got a deadhead tree. He's got a tree full of some bull elk, moose, whitetails, muleys. He's got a couple bear skulls, mountain lion. What else has he got? I guess he's got some goofy. He has a cow, like a moo cow.
Like one of those big longhorn ones from the Yellowstone Ranch bed down the road.
Yeah, I was telling Ben, if any of you guys have ever seen the show Dog the Bounty Hunter, his kids just bought a ranch down the road from California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We saw him out there taking pictures the other night.
Yeah. And they also spent like God knows how much money on buying long horn steers and all these horses.
They probably will die this winter.
Probably. But hey, I'm not knocking them.
Yeah.
But
wait till you see him at the gas station and be like, oh no, that's just Cheryl.
I was just excited for that. What was her name? Beverly? Dog's wife?
Oh.
And then she died?
Oh.
I didn't know she died, and I was like, man, maybe I'll get a glimpse of those warlocks.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Gotta love it. Yeah. Perfect. Hitting that hour mark. Cool. Dave also comments, since this cool background, guys, looks real professional. Yeah, I think we should just keep this as the green screen. Like, forget the bar. This is like almost perfect.
I wish we could kind of zoom in. Hey. A little bit. Yeah.
So we were over there the other day when we were taking one of the pictures, when I took the one across the valley.
A little bit more
that way.
Yeah, up on those cliffs.
Across the highway there.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Well, cool, man. No, I love it. I love being able to do the show here. I think your wife's in there making dinner.
Heck yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. And back home, it is almost 9 o'clock. So I'm sure everybody's tucking the kiddos in and getting ready for work tomorrow.
Probably getting pretty dark over there, too.
Yeah. No, there's still sun shining here.
Yeah. Well, cool beans, man. Well.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
If anybody that just tuned in late, this is what we're having tonight. And it is pretty dang good.
The Whistle Pig Piggyback 6-year bourbon.
Yeah. Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys.
Thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you all next time here on 100 Proof Whitetails. I can find the damn live button. There it is.